This week on Quality Digest Live, we're here at the Coordinate Metrology Society Conference at beautiful Cliff Lodge in Snowbird, Utah.
That's right. We'll be looking at the CMSC measurement zone, showing off a great tech corner from Capture 3D, and chatting with incoming CMSC chair, Gary Confalone, when we come back. This episode of Quality Digest Live is sponsored by Capture 3D, the winner of GE Aviation's High Accuracy, High Inspection Throughput Challenge.
Welcome back to Quality Digest Live for July 21st, 2017. QDL is your weekly look at who and what is making the news in the world of quality. I'm Mike Richmond, publisher of Quality Digest.
That you are, and I'm Quality Digest Editor-in-Chief, Dirk Ducharme. As Mike said, we are, right now we're outside this beautiful locale. We're in Snowbird, Utah. It's a ski resort, but obviously we're here during the summer. It's an amazing place, probably one of the most amazing venues CMSC has had for a
right
show.
Up there. Yeah,
oh man, it's really, really cool. But aside from that, great show. As usual, a lot of great papers, of wide variety of topics on large volume 3D measurement, and as well as the exhibit hall and a lot of great equipment in there.
The exhibit hall is really great this year. I mean, as you say, a lot of great equipment, a lot of great new equipment, and the measurement and education zones this year have a lot of really interesting stuff going on. Some of the stuff they're doing they've done before, like the Jeopardy game and the various contests and competitions, all the stuff is really cool. Well, actually, earlier today, I walked through the measurement zone and the education zone, and I talked with Jerome Alexander Lavoie of Creaform, and I also talked with Matt Ilardo of Brookhaven National Lab, as well as the CMSC. So let's take a quick look at that clip. Hey there, we're here at the measurement zone at the CMSC with Jerome Alexander Lavoie of Creaform, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what Creaform is doing here in the measurement zone, as well as some interesting stuff that they're doing here at the show. So first of all, let me ask you, how did you guys get involved in the measurement zone? You're the sponsor this year, so how did you guys get involved with that?
Well, it started actually 2 years ago. We got the opportunity to become the sponsorship for the educational zone first, and it was a 2-year contract. So first year was the educational zone, and then second year was the measurement zone. And we just thought it was a good idea in terms of, get the Creaform brand recognized across the industry. CMSC show is not a normal show. It's not a show where you're going to get a lot of leads, but this is a nice way to put your brand out there and show everybody that you are a serious player in the industry. So that's why we wanted to start and go ahead with that sponsorship.
Yeah, it's a nice collegial show. Well, you guys are doing 3 separate stations here in the measurement zone. So let's show us a little bit about what you're doing here.
Okay, so right now we're actually in zone 2. This is where the competition happens. This is where people can get hands-on on what we have is a photogrammetric system and a laser tracker. Now, not everybody, it depends who you work or where you work. Not everybody knows both technology. Most people in the industry knows a lot about laser tracker, but when it comes to large-scale metrology, photogrammetry is also a good option or a good alternative to that type of technology. So what we wanted to show here is not necessarily that one is better than the other. We wanted more to have people, whether it's experienced people or very beginner people, to get their hands on those systems and do a real photogrammetric measurement of that part right there and a complete similar measurement with the laser tracker so they can experience the strength and weaknesses of both technology.
Yeah, so show us how it works.
Well, basically, we're going to do a shooting of this car right there, and what we're looking for is to measure those small SMR here that are equipped with retroreflective targets. So we put them on, and there's about eight, and there's a calibrated scale bar here. And what we're going to do, we're going to shoot everything, and that's going to give us 29 distances, if I'm correct. And then after that, we take them out, and we take either a T-probe or a standard 1.5-inch SMR, and we go ahead and measure all of those points again. And after that, we have 29 distances with the photogrammetric system, 29 distances with the laser tracker that we compare each other, and the winner of the competition will be the one who get the most closest result between the two technology. And actually, I think from the first day, the biggest differences that we had between both technology was average deviation of 34 microns. So it's really working right here, even if we're on a carpet floor, which is not necessarily ideal for a laser tracker, but people are careful, people are taking that seriously, and we have actually a very good correlation between those two technologies. So that's for Zone 2. Now we have Zone 1 and Zone 3 over there. If you want, we can go.
Let's
okay.
We'll take a look at what else is going on here. So as we're going over to the second zone, maybe you can tell us a little bit about Creaform and its place in the market.
Well, for Creaform, see, all of our products are developed around three main ideas. Simplicity, portability is one thing that is really important for us. And of course, if you want to be involved in metrology, you have to be accurate. So accuracy is one of the main themes when we think of a new product. Now, our main expertise is in the optical technology. Okay, we have strong expertise in that field, and we've been pushing optical technology towards metrology for a couple of years now. That type of technology, that optical portable CMM, is really designed to face the vibration challenge that you're going to face if you are going on a shop floor. So what we have here is a simple setup where, you know, it's moving, it's vibrating. This is a calibrated artifact that has a specified length, and even if it's moving like that, when we probe it, you can get an extremely high accuracy. Right now we're talking 44 microns in something that is much more vibrating than what you're going to experience on a shop floor. But it's just to showcase that you don't have to be afraid to lose accuracy when you go on the shop floor, thanks to the benefits of optical technology. That's everything that we wanted to participant understand with this simple setup. That's not more complicated than that. So if you want, we can go to the Zone 3.
Well, let's go to Zone 3. That's Zone 2. So we'll take a look at Zone 3 now, the third zone. So you can tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
So, okay, third zone is more like a hands-on session with 3D scanners only. So people can come in here, and if they don't have any experience with a 3D scanner, we have three different equipment right now. We have a Faro equipped with a laser scanner, we have our Creaform Mitra scan, and we have a hexagon system, the Prime scan. And really it's up to the participant to pick up either a ski boot that we rented here, or a helmet, or a snowboard, and they can just benchmark each technology to whatever those parts and see how those technology perform on those type of parts. We have parts that are more shiny, parts that are dark and with a different finish on it. So it's really interesting because when it comes to choosing a laser scanner, there's always a couple of questions you need to ask yourself. Shininess of the part is one thing. Color is not that much. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, depending on the technology. Also, we have laser scanner and we have structured light system. So those two technologies, they do not perform the same way on different type of parts. Some of them have more resolution, which doesn't necessarily mean more accuracy, but some others will scan faster, for example. So it's really interesting for the participant to just pick a part. It's not fake, it's real scanning, it's not a demo setup. So pick a part, set it up, and it will help you to scan it, and you'll see by yourself what type of scanner is better for that specific part. So that's the mindset here, educational kind of thing, mindset. So that's what we're doing here.
And are people bringing you specific applications, asking you about how this would be used in aerospace, let's say, or automotive, or whatever it may be?
That's one thing about CMSC trade show. It's a lot of people here are actually very, very interested to know more about the technology. When they come to us, when they come into the different booths, they have most of the time very specific question about their application. I'm doing a large part. I'm doing a part that goes from here to the other side of the measurement zone. For example, what's better? Should I use photogrammetry? Should I use laser tracker? I'm trying to scan very shiny part, or how does a laser scanning system perform outside? Stuff like that. Those are the kind of questions we had yesterday, and I'm sure we're going to continue to have a lot of questions. But people are focused. People are looking for solution, and that's not. I'm not saying that other trade shows are not like that, but other trade show with more people, you're going to find yourself with people looking, but just for looking. Here, I feel that people are more looking for a specific solution for their application, and they have real questions that it's very fun to answer. Actually, it's very fun to have those discussions and spend more time. Like I said, it's not a normal trade show. You can spend more time discussing the application of the customer and get actually go deeper and know more about their applications.
Well, that's a great testimonial for CMSC. Jerome Alexander Lavoie, thank you again for joining us of Creaform.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you later. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to go over to the other side of the measurement zone, and we're going to talk to Matt Alardo about what they're doing over here on the flip side of the show. So let's take a look at this now. Matt Alardo.
How you doing?
How are you? Good to see you. So now you're with Brookhaven National Lab, and you're also on the executive committee of the CMSC, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Now you spend most of your time at the shows here in the measurement zone, correct?
Yes, directing people through the measurement zone, through the education zone, trying to explain to them what we're trying to accomplish with both zones, as well as going over the schedule for our Measurement Jeopardy, our Ask the Experts panel, and right now we're actually doing a laser scanning feedback session for our next level of certification.
So now this is actually, where we are right now, is actually the education zone, correct?
Correct. Okay. Yeah, we're at the opening for the education zone.
All right, so now you're going to look at some tablets that have some information on them, correct?
Yes. We are currently running tablets with the NPL e-learning program. They're all logged in for the conference. Anyone could come down, have a seat, or go on the outside and go through all the different training sessions that NPL offers on their website. So they get a preview and a free preview to go on NPL's web to do their web-based training, their e-learning courses.
And what does that teach them? I saw dimensional metrology, fundamental metrology.
It's got all the different areas of metrology that they cover. So it's got the fundamental metrology, it's got dimensional, it has information about the certification, it goes through GD&T as well on here. So it's their extensive library of training that they offer, we offer here in the education zone for people to go through and get kind of like a preview and go through all the courses.
And the certification that you mentioned is important because that really was the driver of this entire thing, was the certification push, the certification program that CMSC offers. So can you tell us a little bit about what that's all about?
Sure, yes. So as of right now, we have a level 1, which is a web-based training, not web-based training, but a web-based course. Multiple questions for your level 1 certification. That's a general knowledge. Then we go into level 2. Level 2 is more practical. It's hands-on. So right now we have a level 2 PCMM arm and a level 2 tracker. Those are hands-on. It's a half-day class, half-day session where you're using the equipment, taking measurements, coming up with your values, and you're graded on how you use the equipment, the answers you're getting, how you approach the part, all that encompassed. So those are competency-based exams. So for right now, all we have are those 2 as a level 2. We are working on, like I said before, a level 2 for scanning. That's what we're having the feedback session here for.
And then that's valuable, obviously, to users. It's valuable to people in industry as well. I mean, the vendors and the manufacturers, because they want to make sure their people are certified and can do this work, correct?
Yes. It gives a validity to the user that he knows what he's doing, that he could pick up that piece of equipment, he can operate it without people questioning him. You know, so it's not a license, but it's a certification that he knows what he's doing as far as general knowledge for level 1 and competency based on the specific pieces of equipment.
And that's what this is all about, really, to get feedback and to help people train and learn about what they're doing. The Jeopardy game, of course, is a lot of fun. We just saw in Creaform is doing the contest, the competition over there. It all comes together, really.
Yes, the whole CMSC in general is based on training, education, bringing everyone in to just give feedback to each other on what they've been doing, how they're doing it, different ways, and to educate. So that's why this kind of ties everything together with educating as far as between certification, just little seminars, little training classes that we're offering this year, the Measurement Jeopardy, which has to do with the certification, our Ask the Expert panel, where we had the audience ask a group of experts in their field questions, stuff that they want to learn, and questions that they've had that they haven't had the opportunity to ask before.
Well, it looks like you're getting ready to start a session here, so I'm going to let you go. Matt Alardo of Brookhaven, as well as CMSC. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Hi, okay, well, our next segment is going to be with Gary Confalone, and Gary is the president and CEO of ECM, Global Measurement Solutions. He's also the incoming chair of the Coordinate Metrology Society, who are the hosts of the Coordinate Metrology Society Conference here in beautiful Utah. Yeah, beautiful. So we're going to talk to Gary now about certification, ECM, and a lot of other great stuff. So Gary, thanks for joining us on Quality.
No, it's my pleasure.
Yeah,
and I hope you're getting the view.
We're getting the
back
view.
there,
It's an amazing place.
It's beautiful.
It's not a fake backdrop.
It's not a big backdrop.
It's been great. So Gary, how did you get involved in this Coordinate Metrology Society, and kind of what brought you here to be in the chair of the group this year?
Well, it's been quite a ride, Mike. It goes back to the early '90s. When I got out of college, I worked at Sikorsky Aircraft, and I worked on some bore sighting projects, where I ended up working with a couple of fellas that were involved in CMS back in the early '90s or mid-late '90s, and ended up doing a paper. So from there it was paper, another paper, workshop, and more in the more recent past. I don't want to age myself too much, but in 2009 we formed the certification committee, and I was involved with that, and that's kind of what led to me being on the EC and becoming the vice chair and chair.
Now, certification is one of the real big initiatives that the Coordinate Metrology Society has done over the past couple of years, and it really has grown. It's amazing the changes that we've seen in that over the course of time. So what's it all about? Talk maybe about level one first.
Well, it started in 2009, like I said, and it was a group of us, international group. We got together, and it's something that's been talked about for many years, so we weren't the ones to come up with the idea. But industry demanded it, and we all feel a passionate need for doing this, just so that you can rate yourself in the industry as to how you would fare with 3D large-scale metrology. The level 1 certification was implemented 4 years after the start of the certification committee. We came out with a pilot, and the level 1 is more of an all-encompassing knowledge-based assessment for portable 3D metrology.
So, and we should say that this is the certification program is to verify that metrologists really have the skill set that's out there, because there was some concern 4 years ago and even before that people they were going through the job and they were doing the job and going through the motions, but they didn't really necessarily know what they were doing. Was that kind of the background?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a big demand for people who do what we do. But sometimes, you might pay a lot of money for someone and you don't know what their qualifications are. And they may be great at doing one thing, but not so great at another. And the certification kind of tells you that you have a well-rounded metrologist who it's a good place to start. And the credentials to take the exam do require that you have experience. So anybody who's passed the exam, has past experience, because they wouldn't have been able to sit for it.
And the level 1 that's just a more knowledge thing. Do you know the basics and how to do things? But then you have another level 2, which is a practical?
Yeah, the level 1 is, as you said, more cognitive. It's like you sit behind a computer and take an exam. Sure. It's everything that you pour it out. The level 2 would be hands-on, and there's going to be several level 2s to follow. We have 2 of them now. A year after we came out with the level 1, we created the level 2 for the portable arms.
Okay.
So that would be an exam with an assessment with an artifact in an arm, and you go through a routine. It takes 3 or 4 hours. The next level 2 was for laser trackers. And that's very similar artifact, a little larger scale, but you basically go through the same routine you would with an arm, but with a laser tracker. And anyone that has a level 2 certification, you know they already passed the level 1, and that they have 2 years experience in the field using that piece of equipment. So right there it tells you, you know, you're not hiring someone who's a beginner at this.
And then so an arm and a tracker, what's coming up next?
Good question. At this show this year, we just had a workshop to evaluate, you know, what would be the largest concerns for a laser scanner operator. So we're going to take those survey results back to the committee. You know, when we start up in another month or so, we'll evaluate it and see how this next assessment, which will be laser scanners, is going to evolve.
Okay. And
go ahead, Dirk. I'm sorry.
Okay. When somebody applies for the level 2, it's for a specific instrument then. So they'll
Yes.
want the level 2 certification for an arm or a laser tracker, or maybe I guess they could take it for both, right? I mean,
Yeah, you could take it for both.
Okay.
Right now, the arm and the laser tracker are out. We've surveyed the committee in the past, and these are the 2 most popular instruments used.
Okay.
Obviously, scanners and blue light systems. You know, those type of things are the future. So we're going to be going towards that, but we're trying to figure out, you know, that's an instrument that may not be so much how you use it with your hands, but more how you handle the data.
Right,
so
right.
we're trying to figure out a way to evolve that assessment of how you're going to handle the data that you get from these scanners.
Okay.
Now, in your company, ECM, obviously you're a measurement company, service
Service
Sorry
company.
about that. I was trying to say service. Measurement service company, metrology service company, but you're also actively involved in training for the certification program too. So how did you get involved in the training piece of this?
Well, after we came out with the certification, the first reaction from the popularity was, well, there's no training for it. There's no guidebook or anything. Being a little burnt out from doing the certificate, we sat around. Then, you know, one night, me and Keith Bevan, who's the current chair, got together. Dare I say at a bar? But we got together and decided, hey, let's go for it. Let's put together a certification. You know, so everybody's happy. And we did. Tom Kinnair, one of our lead engineers, he's our project engineer at ECM, went over to England and put together basically a prep course for the certification. So you can sit, you know, East Coast Metrology, you can sit, or ECM, you can sit at the, come to our site, or we'll come to your site, and we'll give you a prep course and proctor the exam for you.
I had a lot of interest in that.
Yeah, it's been growing. It's really been getting legs, and every year it seems to get more and more interest.
Well, let's change gears a little bit. A topic that's real popular for us, and we just discovered something you're really involved in, is STEM education.
Yeah. And that may have come before the certification.
Okay.
But we've been doing that for quite a while. There's a lot of local schools in the New England area that we visit, some of them outside of New England. But yeah, we like to get involved with the kids. You know, it's from grammar school all the way to college level, more so at the college level. But you know, you bring lasers in and everybody's
so
happy.
I was going to say, what do you do? You bring in the gadgets, the toys, the cool looking stuff?
Yeah,
lasers always work.
Yeah, we bring lasers in, scan their hands, and
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the kids love it, and the grown-ups do too. You know, it's a lot of the schools that we do visit are, you know, like 2-year degree schools where, people, and a lot of them are young adults reinventing themselves. They might have gone to school for something else, and they want to get in the technical industry, and they're just blown away at what's out there.
And we hear, I mean, we've talked to a lot of folks who are telling us that there is a skills gap out there. I mean, you're finding that too, that industry needs these skilled workers, right?
How else do you learn metrology? I mean, there's nothing you take in school that really tells you, you know, anything about metrology. At least, you know, now these kids can say, hey, one day some guy came in with a laser. I know it exists and I know what it can do. And honestly, we've seen a lot of equipment get sold by this. You know, we started this about 12 years ago, and 6 of the schools that we visit, 6 or 7, have purchased equipment from CMMs to ARMs to laser trackers. The OEMs have been very generous. You know, we've worked to get a lot of stuff donated. So we've gotten a lot of seats of software donated, and some hardware as well.
so they can really get a good experience of how this actually works in the real world.
Oh yeah,
using real equipment.
Yeah, it's a win-win-win. Everybody really gets a lot out of it, because those students go on to a career and they say, hey, you know, we need an arm, or we need a projector, or we need a laser tracker, you know, and they know what software they've been using in school, and then they tell their boss what to get.
So fair to say, for your year coming up now as chair, you're looking forward to engaging people like that and getting them involved?
Yeah, I would say, you know, we've gotten a lot of reward out of it, a lot of pleasure. It's great. We recently had Northeastern University brought in a big remote control boat, and everyone in the company was down there looking at it, and it's invigorating. You know, we don't get rich off stuff like that, but it's stimulating, you know, for the guys, and everyone gets real happy. And I'd like to see, you know, I'm going to reach out to a lot of our members and see if they'll do, you know, projects like that with their local, communities and schools. And we see, you know, more and more you're seeing Engineering Day and STEM, and up in New Hampshire the past few years they've had Girls Technology Day, where we've got quite a bit out of it, because a lot of young girls don't get to see the technical world, and you know, they see lasers, they're good at math, they're like, hey, this is something I would really like to do.
That's great. Cool. Well, Gary Confalone, incoming chair of the Coordinated Metrology Society and president and CEO of ECM Global Measurement Solutions, thanks for joining us on QDL, and we'll see you down the line.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks,
Dirk.
Sure, thank you. You know, one of the great things of coming to trade shows, especially for me, is seeing all the new equipment, right? Yeah. You know, and the CMSC is no different. We come to CMSC and there's all sorts of really cool 3D measurement equipment. Well, we had a chance to visit the folks over at Capture 3D. They had a couple different pieces of equipment they wanted to show us, and we're going to show one of those to you right now. And we're at the CMSC show in Snowbird, Utah, and right now we're actually at the Capture 3D booth, and we're going to talk about a new piece of equipment from Capture 3D and GOM. And with me right now is Staten Apple. Yep. And what do you do here at Capture 3D?
I'm a sales engineer for Capture 3D.
Fantastic. And what are we going to look at?
Today we're looking at the ATOS Capsule. This is the latest scanner we've released. It is a 8 million to 12 million megapixel structured blue light scanner.
Okay, and what market is intended for, or what market are you seeing the most interest in it for?
The market that we're seeing the most interest and success in, which is what it was designed for, is markets where we have small parts, really intricate, high detail, high complex, where accuracy is really, really important. Where there's a lot of reflectivity, we're seeing a lot of success, and parts where there's a lot of geometry that other measurement systems have struggled with.
Okay, and this is I think this is a structured light scanner, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and so why don't you just take us through what it does? Talk about the software and the hardware and so forth.
Yeah, so what we have set up here is our base level of automation. This is on a rotary stage, and what we're doing right now is scanning a blade. The big part of the blade analysis stuff that we're going through is the leading and trailing edges, but we can actually do 100% inspection of this blade without contact. It's set up in a reference frame. One of the big things that our customers are doing is setting them up in these so we're not actually targeting or touching the blade itself. This not only saves on your setup time and inspection time, you're also not contaminating the part in any way.
Okay, and how does it interact with the software?
So this interacts directly with the software. One of the unique things about us at Capture and GOM is our software and hardware is all one system. There are no handshakes. We don't party with anyone else. It's all under the same roof. And so the software itself is actually running the automation and the inspection at the same time.
And you're scanning right now, you're scanning a turbine engine blade?
Yes, we are.
Okay, tell us what we're seeing.
So right now we're looking into, and this is actually a live data set that he's has on the screen right now. On the top left, you're seeing the live camera view, and on the right side, you're actually seeing what's red is what was captured in the last shot.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the accuracy of the capsule.
The accuracy of the capsule, I guess the best way to demonstrate that would be we just won a competition through GE Aviation Inspection Challenge. There were 51 entries in that total. We won, and the accuracies that were reported with that win on a knife edge were accuracy of 10 microns with repeatability of 5 microns.
Okay, so if I understand this right, there was a competition, the GE competition. I vaguely remember this, and there was all these different companies, basically with the same types of scanners, so structured like scanners, and they went up against each other against a particular artifact.
Yes, there was a standardized artifact that they had, which was actually a knife edge on I think it was a Victor X paring knife, and they said, okay, here's your standard artifact. Everyone uses whatever scanner you want to use, wherever you want to bring it from. We'll take the best results and the most repeatable results.
Okay, so 10 microns accuracy, 5 microns repeatability.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about automation. I mean, I see this is on a rotary table right now that's obviously controlled by the computer. So how much automation can you do with the capsule?
I guess that really is going to come up to how much do you want done. So this is the basic form we have on here, which is just a rotary stage, which is called a ROT 640, and the capsule is set up on a manual stand. For a lot of applications, this is fine, but what we're seeing is, as any manufacturing, faster and better. And we roll into what we have is called a scan box. We have a full line of different scan boxes, and basically it's going to be the same setup. It's going to be a larger rotary, and the capsule is going to be mounted onto a robot. And we can adjust that robot size and scan box size on the application. So if your blade's smaller, we size down. If it's larger, up into stators and blisks, even up into huge titanium ones, which we have a lot of success with, we can automate those as well.
Okay, so for everybody who hasn't seen, the scan box is literally just a big box with a robot inside, right?
Absolutely. It's a turnkey solution that we developed to kind of get out of the customized cells. We had a lot of customers that wanted to have something in immediately without any hiccups, solid handshake. So we developed a full line of them down to the 4105, which we can do very, very small parts in, up to a full-size 8 series where we're doing up to full-size body and whites.
Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about the about reporting. Step us through maybe what type of reporting you can do once you've done a scan.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can go through multiple steps in the reporting phase. We can have base level reports up to really, really high level detailed reports, traditional kind of CMM style, if you will. So here's an example of some of the report pages we can generate. This is a color map on our alignment with an RPS1 alignment. This is the inspection with the staggering chord with the same alignment. This is the leading edge and trailing edge positions. This is the thickness. Here's the twist. And here is just a table. So if we don't want a visual, this is more of a numerical that we can get over to the engineers. This is a different alignment with your parallel and bitangential chord. And this is a surface comparison where we align the actual data to the CAD model and kind of can use a color map to check the deviation in the part.
So is the customer able to customize these reports, make them look and feel the way they want?
Absolutely, we can customize this to any of the customer needs and requirements, also third-party requirements. Look however you want, and we can put anything you want onto it. And have it completely saved as a template. You can regenerate it each time.
Okay, and including specific standards. Some standards require formats for the report.
Absolutely, it's got 100% customization to whatever the customer could ever possibly want in there.
Okay, well, terrific. Well, Staten, appreciate taking your time with us today and stepping us through. This is the GOM capsule,
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
And by the way, these are available now, right?
Yes, they are. They released. We did a public release as of January this year, and they are available.
Terrific. Thanks.
Thanks. Sorry.
And thanks again to Staten Apple and the folks at Capture 3D for letting us come into their booth and take a look at their products. We are going to actually have another Tech Corner from Capture 3D, brought to us by their Director of Operations, Johan Grout. Later on, a couple weeks, I think. We're
couple weeks, early in August. Look out for that one. We'll bring that to you early in August on an upcoming episode of Quality.
Yeah, so thanks again to the folks at Capture 3D for letting us do that.
Yep, and that is our show for this week. But before we go, we want to thank our sponsor. Guess who, Dirk?
Capture 3D?
Capture 3D. They're the North American partner for GOM Germany's Precise Optical Metrology Solutions. Capture 3D was also recently named as the winner of GE Aviation's High Accuracy, High Inspection Throughput Challenge. For complimentary demonstrations of their advanced 3D scanning and measurement technology, contact info@capture3d.com or visit online at www.capture3d.com for in-depth case studies.
That's right. Well, that wraps up today's show. Thanks to Gary Confalone of the Coordinate Metrology Society and ECM Global Measurement Solutions for joining us on the show. And once again, to Staten Apple for taking some time to run us through Capture 3D's products. So thanks again. Join us again next week.
We'll see you. Have a good weekend.